Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this live broadcast where I will be sharing with you all about how you can be able to unlock your leadership success. Wherever you're joining us, I'm really excited to have you on board and have you be part of this conversation. Now, as I start off, I want to say this. I'm guessing that for a lot of you, this is probably not the first webinar that you are attending. And just and now, if this is not your first webinar that you're attending, you might be thinking, what difference will it make? The first thing I want to mention is that if you have failed to have a lasting impact in the past, it is not your fault. There is a lot of information overload out there, and that might be the thing that is keeping you from succeeding. You just need the right person to be able to explain it to you, and that is what I am here to do. So, what um, we are here for is to help you unlock your leadership success. I want to show you exactly how you can be able to do that and make it happen during this live session. If you're ready, I want to know, are you ready? If you're ready, drop that in the chat and say, yes, you're ready. I'll be checking out your comments as they come in. Are you ready to unlock your leadership success? Are you someone who would like to be inspiring other people? Would you like to be that person who is leading others? Would you like to be that person who is able to even share a vision and help them? If so, drop that in the chat and I will be able to see that. As we start, I want to share with you poem. This is a poem. I don't know, it's a poem, yeah, written called In the Beginning. And I want you, please excuse my language or the language that was in this poem. It is not my poem, but it really reflects a lot in terms of what happens in our offices, in our workplaces, in terms of leadership. So it goes, in the beginning, there was a plan, and then came the assumptions. And the assumptions were without form, and the plan was completely without substance. And darkness was upon the face of the workers. And they spoke amongst themselves, saying, it is a crook of shit, and it is stinketh. And the workers went up to the supervisors and said, it is a pail of dung, and none will abide by its order. The supervisor went up the managers and said, it is a container of excrement, and it is very strong, such that none may abide by it. And the managers went up to the directors and said, it is a vessel of fertilizer, and none may abide by its strength. And the directors among themselves spoke among themselves, saying to one another, it contains that which aids plant growth, and it is very strong. The directors went up to the vice president to say unto them, it promotes growth and it is very powerful. The vice president went up to the president and said to him, this new plan will actively promote the growth and efficiency of the company. And these ideas, in particular, the president looked up the plan and said that it was good. And the plan became policy. This is how shiitake happens. I don't know if any of you really see that kind of scenario in their workplace, the kind of disconnect that is there between the leaders and the workers, or the managers and the workers, and some of the things that really happen, and they can just take you out of the scope. Thank you very much. I can see, yes, a good number of us are here. I can say they are ready. Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. This is good. I'm happy to see all of you mainly on LinkedIn. I can see Grace, you're there saying you're ready. I'm really happy to see you there. So as I was planning this training, I thought of two types of people, and hopefully you fall in one of this category. Number one, a professional who want to up their game, their leadership skills. If you're a manager, you're a senior leader, or an executive, this is the training for you. Someone with or without a position and consider themselves a leader, you are in the right place. Sometimes it does not really need you to have a position for you to be considered to be a leader. And so I'm sure what we are going to share with you today, if you consider yourself with a leader, irrespective of a position or not, you are going to get a lot of value from this session. So let me go straight to it. For those of you who are seeing me for the very first time, my name is Daniel Mutuku. Yes, I'm the founder of Career Point Solutions and also Leaders on Point. I have been able to gain experience over the last 12 years working in recruitment, careers, and as a leader, careers and leadership coach. I'm also a certified digital marketer by Google and a certified, no, a member of the League of Young Professionals. That is LYP. On top of that, I'm an author of 4 books. The first one was How to Make Use Facebook for Profit and Extra Income even on a part-time basis. Then I published the book Blueprint for Success: Guaranteed Steps to Achieving Anything. Then later on, I also published this too. By the way, if you want this book, 2 books are out there for free. You can be able to take one. For example, this one I think is the best time for you to be able to actually uh, get this. Conquer the year ahead. Make the next 12 months your best year ever. And then we have Conquer the ultimate cover letter guide, 101 sample cover letters that can help you really as you apply for jobs. So 2 questions: will you let me be your coach as we start off this session? And number 2, will you allow me to tell you the truth, the hard truth, even if that is not what you want to hear? Let me know in the chat, drop it. Let me see if you are ready and you want to join in. Yeah, let me check in the comments here. Are you ready? Oh, yes, I can see. By the way, if you're saying yes to these 2 questions, it would be very great. Would you let me be your coach and you want me to tell you the truth, the hard truth, nothing but the truth? If that is what you would want to do, I'll be very happy to be able to guide you in it. Yes, I can see someone here saying yes. Eliza saying yes. Thank you. Oh, this is encouraging. So I'm going to do that. If by the way you're saying yes to both questions, go ahead and say yes, or yes times 2. Oh, Doctor. Oh, they're coming in. They're quite many. Yes, thank you. And probably I'm already able to see most of the comments that are coming in through LinkedIn, and which is okay. We are streaming live. We're on YouTube. We're on LinkedIn. We are on Facebook, and everywhere else. So let's then get to it. Yeah, I want to start by saying or quoting John Maxwell, one of the great leadership guru, who says that everything rises and falls with leadership. And I truly believe this. You know why? Because when you are um, very focused on, irrespective of what it is, let's say, um, may you be in a general leader in an organization, may it be in a community, may it be a church, may you be a team leader somewhere. I believe that everything starts and falls with the leadership, even a country. And when you have poor leadership, that will lead to the downfall of the country. When you have poor leadership at the company level, people will struggle. The workers will not benefit from the benefits that are coming from the company, may it be the pay, may it be the product or service. Even a family, when there's poor leadership, you can see the outcome maybe of our society not so good. So when we have great leaders in place, then we can say we are in the right direction. And John Maxwell continues and says that knowing how to lead is only half the battle, because understanding leadership and actually leading are 2 different activities. Many people have been given leadership position because of their studies. They went to school, they learned this course, they have this, and we think because they have learned, then by default they are good leaders. No, we have even said, I don't really like talking much about politics, but it is one of the direct effect that you can actually see, that even the most learned people getting into leadership, politics, they still mess it up. And knowing how to lead and understanding it from an intellectual perspective, those are two different things, and we need to appreciate that. Now, what does this leadership really mean? Whether you are a family, a team, a class, a corporation, an organization, a country, a church, community, whatever. When it comes to leadership, I would say leadership means inspiring others to achieve certain outcomes. So the first thing is, if you are unable to inspire others, don't consider yourself a leader. And if you don't have followers, then you're not a leader again. So it really comes down to what is your ability to really inspire others. Not only inspire them, there's that hype, motivation. You inspire people, feel inspired, but there's nothing there. It's called hot air or hot gas. Yeah, you should be directed toward achieving something. There is a common goal that you're pursuing, and actually you can measure how you are progressing towards that goal, and it is very important to note that. The other thing I also want to mention, as you're a leader, you can choose to either focus on engagement or merely output. And I want to ask you, what do you think is more important? Not the same. Of course, both are important, engagement and output. But in terms of priority, what would you prioritize as a leader? Would it be prioritizing engagement or merely the output? Drop in the chat. I would want to know from you. What would you prioritize if you are given that chance to be a leader? Or if you're a leader currently, what do you prioritize? Is it merely output or is it engagement? Let me check in the chat so that I can see what you have to say. Yeah, what you have to say here. Taking a few maybe minutes before I see the chat coming in. I know there is usually a slight delay, but I want to know from your end, yeah, as a leader, if you're a leader already or you are aspiring to be a leader, what would you really prioritize? Would it be engagement or will it be just output? Drop that in the chat. We'll wait for a few more minutes. If it doesn't work, okay, I can see Matthew, you're saying both, but assuming that one has to go on top of the other, what would you go? I can see David there. You go engagement leads to desired outcome. Thank you very much, David. I like that. Oh, the output, that is Steven. You would really get much on output. There's Janet goes for engagement. And yeah, quite interesting. But I would say engagement will lead to the output if you engage them rightly. And to see here, just to focus on the point, this is what happens. Yeah, leadership. Let me just go back here before I go to the next point here. I also want to mention that, yeah, it is the engagement that leads to the output. It is how you engage your people. Thank you very much. I can see engagement there from Mary. There is Grace. You're talking about engagement. Yes, Matthew, again, you talk about engagement. Because how you engage and how you come across, it's not a matter of we are just here to get the results. Remember, you're dealing with people. And when you're dealing with people, there are other things that come across. How do you treat them? Do you also lead with empathy? As we will see, empathy is very important because people come with their own problems and issues. And yes, someone had a bad day, a bad morning, they have lost a friend, they have lost a family member, they have fought with their spouse, their children, I don't know, did what in school they have been called. So you find someone is really coming into work, their mind is not there, and how you engage them to get the best result would be important. You lead with empathy, understanding them, rather than I've been to a place where it's all about the results, results, results. We don't care about people, and you feel like people are replaceable. So that is one thing. I would say engagement would be important, but that will lead to the output. Now, leadership can often be equal to two parts. And this is what most people don't tell you. The first part, this is what we see outwardly. Great leaders have high confidence, high self-esteem. And I'm sure if you can just think of who is one leader that you really look out for, is do they have confidence? Are they looking out there? Yes, they. I'm sure that is one part of it. But the second part, which most people don't talk about, it is worry if you're doing it right while continually searching for answers. All leaders, at some point, they suffer or they experience what we call the is it? It's like they are not sure of themselves. What is the word I'm trying to get? Imposter syndrome. They're like, am I really doing the right thing? Do I really know even what I'm doing? And especially when we have been brought up in this society whereby we are thinking about a leader should have all the answers. Yeah. And when you have that kind of mentality, anytime anything is happening, you feel like, oh, I need to have an answer. I need to have an answer. Yeah. So I think it is important for us to really balance the two. And if you have ever doubted your capabilities, if you always are in the worry mode, there is a problem. So, first of all, I want to confirm that if you have worries, if you're doing it right, you are very much normal. Yeah, that is okay. But it's how do you balance the confidence and self esteem with this worry? Is your life as a leader fully dominated with these worries and always trying to have the answers? And you will see one of the things that I'll mention later on as we proceed is that one of the greatest leadership technique would be coaching rather than just being able to provide answers to all the questions that your colleague or your team are out there looking out for. Improving your leadership skills begins by you focusing on what you are already good at. Rather than thinking about we have different types of leadership and doing some assessment and confirming that, yes, this is my leadership style, then if this is my leadership style, then how can I change from this style to this style? That would not be the right thing. I would say, ask yourself, what are you already good at? Then can you work towards building what you are good at, focusing on what you're good at, and also understanding what you're not good at and minimizing the impact or outsourcing that would be very, very important. What makes a good leader? I think at this point, I want to pause and ask you, what are the qualities do you think make a good leader? Drop them in the chat. I will be reading them through. As I said, I know there's a slight delay between the video and the chat as they come in through the tool that I am using. So I want you to just think about that. Yeah. How would you define what are the qualities of a good leader? What are the qualities of a good leader? Drop that in the chat. I'll be very happy to be able to answer that. Yeah. And then we can be able to compare notes with what I already have. What do you think make a good leader? The faster you type, the better. I will appreciate, but I don't mind pausing, waiting for the comments. And actually, let me just give you a hint or tell you what I'm about to do. We're going to compare these so-called qualities of a good leader compared to the when a research was done. Actually, a research was done and they asked, what do followers really look out for in leaders? Yeah. And sometimes there's a very big disparity between what we think a good leader looks like and what really followers look out for in a leader. Yeah. And we'll talk more about that. And as they come, I'm sure they will come. Let me share with you what they found. Now, there's this study that was done by Gallup. It's a leadership firm, and they found out four main things that leaders or oh, good. I can see Matthew, you're already in talking about understanding people thrive well with positive feedback. Yeah, actually, you're almost on it. You're almost on it. Let me do this. Let me return back here as I check. Yes, This is a very good quality of a great leader. Yeah, being charismatic. Thank you very much, Stephen, for sharing that. So yes, all these are very important, like understanding and thriving, helping people to thrive, giving them positive feedback, and that we'll talk a little bit more about that, and being charismatic. But what really followers are looking out for in a leader, number one, is trust. Yeah, building trust is the foundation of leading. Honesty, clarity, and behavior predictability all make up trust. Leaders must adopt the trait of trustworthiness and prioritize it as one of the most important skills. Because without it, people won't feel as confident when they follow you. Yeah. So, for example, share your concerns or struggles as a leader. Be modeling this. Your followers will be more likely to trust you as their own. Remember, the part where somebody is constantly worrying about having all the answers. But if you can share even with their team, sometimes, yeah, I don't know, we will figure it out together. They tend to, you model that behavior, you will see them bring it out, even think honest and open, and that builds trust. The other quality that Gallup in their research found, they actually four. Yeah, first one is trust. Second one is compassion, bringing positive energy and willingness to listen. You see, being compassionate means caring about your followers holistically, while seeing them more than just the ability to perform. It's not all about the performance. Yes, someone will perform, but when you look at them holistically, you can think about their worries, their desires, their challenges, and what brings them. A compassionate leader should be willing to share their own struggles and accept the same honestly from others. For example, reacting calmly and empathetically when followers are dealing with difficult situations in work or life. From family burdens to workplace burnout, modeling compassion can help them succeed. You will be surprised how much big of a difference it would make when a leader is genuinely concerned and say, "How are you?" We use that term, "How are you?" and it looks as if it is just a normal greeting that we are having. But in real sense, when you ask, "How are you?" is someone ready and willing to actually say, "I'm not fine." And when they say, "I'm not fine," can you really take time to engage with them and know what is the problem? Or is it just a matter of, okay, you're not fine, or how are you? I'm fine. We move on. You don't actually think about it. Yeah. So thinking about how do they deal with these problems and also showing them your vulnerability. Of course, not just laying burdens on them, but being able to do that. The other quality they actually followers say they are looking out for their leaders would be is stability, and this is ensure people can count on you. Providing stability looks like creating space where people feel psychologically safe. Stability is about safety at a psychological level. Like they can depend on you to answer their questions, hear their ideas, and address their concerns. Communication is key for this trait. Stability puts emphasis on the current moment, keeping people grounded on here and now, knowing they can count on you. For example, they try to be consistent as you can when responding to those who follow you. Seek to answer the questions your followers have. They will help provide you with that the stability come. And finally, the fourth quality that followers look out for in the leaders, surprisingly, is hope. Encourage people to believe in a better future. You see, while stability focuses on today, hopefulness deals with the future. People need to see that their leadership, their leader, have a clear direction in mind. They want to have faith in their leaders and they are guiding them in the right direction. When leaders communicate hope, they can help followers feel more enthusiastic about the future. For example, talk about the future as if it is bright. Even when things are hard, you can acknowledge difficulties while still communicating the best possibility, the best possible outcome to your followers. It's just saying, yeah, things might not be working right now, but I know things will be better. There is a better, brighter future ahead. So I don't know. I want to give you a task. You can decide either to write it a piece of paper. You can put it here in the chat, and just to ask you, how would you really, how would you rate yourself in these areas? How would you rate yourself in these areas in terms of number one, your trust. Yeah, let me check here. Just give me a minute. How would you rate yourself in terms of trust? How would you rate yourself in terms of compassion, stability, and hope? 1 to 5. This is your own just self-assessment that I want you to do. To just ask yourself, what is it that I can be able to do so that I can bring this on board? And of course, it will really help your leadership. Yeah, thank you very much. I can see some of the comments that are coming in. Chris, you're talking about credibility and dependability. Yeah, that makes a very good leader. So dependability, as we saw, was something to do with stability. Yeah, and credibility, trust. So just different. You can see being diplomatic and open to dialogue. Yeah, I really like that. So let's move on to the other thing. Very quickly, I want to go through this, then I can answer your questions. This was just to be a short session, not very long. Pitfalls for leaders. As much as there are so many other pitfalls that leaders or things that will bring leaders down, this really stood out for me. And they are the small little things that sometimes we really don't see. Number one, using power of the position rather than coaching. You see, when you're a leader, you feel as if anything you say goes. And when there are challenges and when there are problems, it's either you're using your power to guide and not allowing to coach. Coaching as a leader is one of the greatest skills, whereby you are empowering people to be able to learn how to solve the problem. The other thing is micromanaging employee rather than helping them develop. Rather than equipping your team to be able to deal with problems, you're micromanaging. You're telling them, do this, do that. You know, this reminds me of an interesting story. My mother, when we were growing up, yeah, my mother taught us how to cook. Yeah. And I remember she would sit in the sitting room and you are the one in the kitchen and she will still direct you what to do. She was a super micromanager. Now do this. Add the onions. Can you check? Have they been able to turn golden, brown? Now do this. Do this. Yeah, I have the power, the ability to do the work, but she was still micromanaging. And that is how the helicopter parents, yeah, we take that also to the office. I love my mother to death. She brought us well, and probably she did the best she could with what she had at that particular point. So I'm not saying it is bad, but yeah, it's just an example that I can be able to draw from my own experience. And the other pitfall, not providing effective performance feedback and training. Yeah, somebody talked about feedback. Matthew, we're the right place. Yeah, if you don't provide the right feedback, especially performance feedback, it's not something personal. And once you provide this feedback, someone will know what they need to do to be able to progress and become much better in their work. And if it is not within their fear, you can provide training for them to be able to grow. These three things, very important, will make a difference as a leader or wherever you are. So let me say this, yeah. For you to be able to encompass all this, learning is a lifelong endeavor if you are to be a leader and you want to go to the next level of your career. If you want to go to the next level and unlock your leadership, you need to adopt the philosophy of continuous learning. My philosophy, one of my philosophies, is no graduation day. Learning, continuously learning, learning new things. And that is what has helped me up my game as a coach, as a leader, and I want it the same to you. So there's this program called LEAD, and I'll talk more about that, which is called the Leadership Operating System. Is it okay for me to take about 10 minutes, share with you about this LEAD program, the Leadership Operating System, and then after that, I can be able to answer any of your questions. I just want to take about 10 minutes, share with you about this program called LEAD, If it is okay, drop in the chat. I'm actually asking for your permission. If it is okay, just drop and say, yes, it's okay. Drop it in the chat. I will be grateful to be able to handle that. Is it okay for me to take about 10 minutes, talk to you about this program called the Leadership Operating System? And then from there, we can be able to progress and get to the next level. If so, drop that in the chat. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Is that okay? Checking in. Usually that delay. But as long as, oh, yeah, they are coming in now at least faster. Yeah, thank you very much. Grace, you're saying it's okay. Anthony, you're also saying it's okay. So let me do, because I really respect your time and appreciate the fact that you have joined me here. Let me do this very quickly. Now, LEAD is an acronym, as you can see. And this is what I believe to be the main leadership operating system. And it can be installed in any organization. It can be installed at home, in a community, in a team, and all that. Number one, lead stands for L is leverage. We'll talk more about leverage. Engagement. Remember, engagement plays a very big part. Accountability. And finally, we have the drivers. Now, let me explain what this is. Now, when we talk about, before I tell you, yeah, when you join this program, if you are willing to join this program called LEAD, it's a 6-week LEAD foundational program where in the next 6 weeks, we will take you through this operating system. First, reflect on how it can work on you, and then we will do some of the application in terms of how can it be applied now in your leadership position, in your company, in your organization, in your family, and it's going to be very helpful. Now, it's a 6 weeks program. The value of it is about 100,000. That is not what it's going to cost you. This is just the value that you'll get from the program. So let's break it down and see what is this all about. Yeah. So number one, we talk about leverage. I like this definition whereby leverage is to use something you already have in order to achieve something new or better. And so we will teach you as a leader, how do you leverage, number one, what you already have? You have certain strengths. And remember, we said the best thing you can do is for you to develop as a leader is to start with what you're already good at. So we'll help you leverage on your strengths, identify first your strength, leverage your team, leverage the strength of your team, leverage the strength of your organization. What is your unique proposition? What is it that makes you stand out as an organization, as a person, as a team, and without any extra external resources that you're bringing in? And this is where most people really lose it. For you to really, you want to grow your business, we need to bring something else, someone else, a new skill, a new product. And while you can first of all optimize what you already have, that is leverage, using what you already have in order to achieve something new or better. And once we leverage what we already have, then we are in a much better position to attack and maybe add something else. The second bit in this operating system is once you have understood this leverage point, then we engage. And there are two levels at which you can be able to engage as a person and also as a team. Remember, engagement, this is a combination of the perception of change and events happening around you, around your team, around the organization. You can use that. And the level of energy you experience. Yeah. Let me ask you this. When we talk about the energy you experience, there are two types of, there's positive energy and there's negative energy. When there is negative energy, this is where you find people are disengaged. That's the one. When you have workers, team members who are disengaged, no results, output kaput. But when you have people in your team, yourself, having a positive experience, engaging at a positive level, this is a positive energy. Remember, it is that perception. Engagement is a form of energy. If you're experiencing positive, you are engaging, the results come. And then you are able to take this engagement to the next level, which is about stepping up, having people who are able to step up, rise up to the occasion, opt in to be proactive and own solutions. It is said one of the key things that leaders like is when a team member is not only bringing in a problem, but also pointing out possible ways of solving. Are you that person who always brings in the problem, or are you the person who can be able to identify a problem and still come out with possible solutions? That is positive engagement. You can be able to develop that for yourself and also for the team that you are leading. The next level of this operating system is what we call accountability. And when you engage your team, you are not just engaging them in a vacuum or in space where they can do anything, they have that positive vibe, but we need to hold people responsible. And accountability is the fact that you can be able to, the fact of being responsible for what you do and are able to give a satisfactory reason for it or a degree to which it happens. Yeah, most people feel as if life just happens to them. No, we are responsible for our own position. Like where you are right now, you are responsible for it. And you can be able to be accountable, number one, for yourself and for your team. Have your team responsible. Account, let your team members also be accountable. What are they doing? How are they approaching? Because the key thing about accountability is that you are able to give a satisfactory reason as to why something is happening or where it is happening or where you're not just leaving it for fate. So the accountability bit is very important part of this operating system. And the last thing is about the drivers. Once you have the leverage, once you have been able to engage yourself and your team, and you have been able to put checks in place where we will keep each one accountable, then there are certain drivers that once you have them, you are headed for success. And these drivers include empathy. I've talked about leading with empathy. I've talked about the other driver would be emotional intelligence. Yeah, leaders who are emotionally intelligent tend to lead better and have much bigger results than those who are not. Explore is another driver. We'll look at while we want you to remain open-minded and still have a way of thinking and exploring solutions. When you talk about explore, is about and no, thinking in terms of this and this and rather than or. For example, let me ask you a question. What, and somehow it's like I've already given you the answer, but assuming you are given an opportunity as a leader, what would you really, really want? Is it to have a much bigger impact to your team, to your community, to the people you lead, to your family, to the country as large, or to earn a lot of money? What would you really prefer? And you find out that with Explore, you don't need to think about it. You don't need to choose impact of and money. When you're exploring, you say, yes, I want to have impact and money, and you can have both. And that is the approach of having being open-minded and actually doing exploit. There is influence. You cannot be a great leader without influence. So this would be a great driver. Feedback. Somebody we had already mentioned about that. Giving performance-based feedback and training. And rather than just using your position to control, micromanage, you can coach your people. These are the drivers that you will be able to learn. And in the training, after we finish with this installation, we'll talk about what are the application of this leadership operating system in the workplace, in the community, at home, and any other leadership position. So in the 6 weeks, we'll take you into all these different section. And yeah, so that is entails the 6 week lead foundation program worth about 100,000. Then we have one of our professional certifications that we will give you. We have several certifications, but we believe if you can be able to give you a certification in strategic management and leadership, this will really help you scale up and go to the next level. So you get one of these certification 100% free. And on top of that, you get an opportunity. If you're a leader, you get an opportunity to invite me to come and do what I call the lead workshop with your team, with your organization. And this is a program that, again, I charge about 100,000 if I was to come and do this workshop, a whole day workshop or several hours training. You get it 100% free if you join the program as a lead member, or you start this 6 weeks foundation. You can invite me, come to your organization, and still do this to your team or your organization. Because as the operating system, it is not just the leader to have this kind of knowledge, but there is a part where an organization or the team also plays a part. So you get that training. And finally, and this is something I've not even put the value of it, is that we are in the process of creating what we call the lead membership. And we come and help you install this lead operating system in your organization. And we have certified leaders who have this certification that can be able to coach and guide the organization in adopting this operating system. Because as we started, we said everything, the rise and falling of everything, it depends on the leadership. And so if we are able to adopt this kind of leadership in any organization, and as you will see, it is applicable to any kind of leadership and position, you will be able to get a lot of value out of it. So are you ready to become? Are you ready to join the lead? Are you ready to lead? Are you ready to take up the advantage of leverage, engagement, accountability, and use these drivers? Are you ready to lead? If you're ready, drop in the chat and say, yes, I'm ready to lead, ready to lead, ready to lead. Yeah, if you're ready to lead, do that. So if you're there, you're wondering, by the way, use this time, drop your questions in the chat. I'm through talking about this program. I want to answer your questions, and in the next 5 minutes we will call it a day. I want to go through this very quickly. Let me see if there are any questions coming in, and as we do that, also let me see. Now I had two choices. I want to have people in this program. I can go cheap, get as many people as possible. That would be a good option. But the other option I had was to ask for a slightly higher investment and dedicate more time and effort to guarantee your success. So out of these two options, I was thinking, how do I charge for this program? Now, the lead program is only going to cost you 24,999, which you can also pay in 3 monthly installments, 9,999. You get the 6-week lead foundation program. You get the professional certification, which is the strategic management and leadership. You get an opportunity for me to come and train your team, your organization. We do the lead workshop, and then as we build up this membership, we can discuss how do we come in and install the lead operating system in your farm and have you as one of the certified leaders. No worries if you're there. Absolute no excuse for you not to take action, because there's a 100% money back guarantee. If you join the program 1 month into the program, 30 days, you don't get exactly what I've said you will get, let me know, you get your money back. So you have two choices. One is to be open-minded and take up this leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free, or be open-minded and take up this small investment in yourself and give it a shot. Out of these two options, which one is going to be easier for you? Let me know which is going to be easier for you. Research has it takes about 24 hours. If you learn a ton, as much as I've shared with you in the last few minutes, if you don't take action in the next 24 hours, chances of you taking action thereafter drops almost to zero. The thing is, will you do something based on what you have learned today? I want to ask you, tomorrow, a time like this, will you have taken any action? If so, I'll be very happy. Those who want to get a job, there are two types of people even in this. Those who get an opportunity to change their lives, they agree with what I've shared with you. They can see how this leadership operating system is applicable in their lives and also in their organization, and they still do nothing. And there are those people who decide, this is it, I'll take action, I will define my own future. Which type are you? Let me know. Don't drop in the chat. You want to know more? I want you to go, you can drop me an email, which is daniel@leadersonpoint.com, or you can visit the website leadersonpoint.com to get more information about this program. Are we okay? Let me see if there is any question before I close it up. Okay, so far, no questions. Hopefully, we are doing well. I want to say two things, then we can be able to close it up. it up, yeah, as you drop in your questions. I want to say this, yeah. The best investment you'll ever have is to invest in yourself. That is a quote from Warren Buffett, because the moment you invest in yourself, this is where you will get the highest return on investment. For every shilling you invest in yourself, you will have 30 shillings return over time. That is a 3,000% return on investment. Where do you get this money to invest in yourself? I learned this from Brian Tracy, and it's called the 10-10 rule. And he says, we have been brought up in a society where we take 10% of our income and tithe it. I want to put it to you, why not take another 10% of income and tithe it to yourself and help yourself? This is your opportunity to join the LEAD program. It's only 999 installments, 3 monthly installment. Join the 6 weeks foundation program, the LEAD foundation program. Get the certification, leadership, strategic management, and leadership. Get an opportunity for me to come and have a workshop with your team or your organization about the LEAD operating system and installation in your organization. This is what some of leaders or people that have coached through this leadership program have to say. You can see George Nyakundi saying Daniel is one of the most effective and innovative executive coaches I've worked with. Thanks to his guidance, I was able to push my limit and discover my true potential as a senior leader. Aisha Ahmed saying Daniel and his methodology has helped me tremendously during my career. He's been an excellent resource in my journey towards becoming an effective leader. I recommend Daniel to anyone looking to accelerate their career and leadership skills. Here's opportunity to join. Again, you can pay through Lipa na M-Pesa, buy goods and services. The till number is 715732. Get the 6 weeks leadership foundation program, professional certification, that is leadership, strategic management and leadership, lead workshop with your team, and also the installation in your organization. I can see question here. Can you be having all the qualities of leaders, but implementation becomes the problem? I work in a company where your junior have been given power to undermine you. Huh. Let me say, yeah, it is not really possible for you to have the qualities and be able to implement. You know why? Implementing is part of the qualities. It's like what we said. Yeah, there's a difference between understanding leadership and actually leading. And when you grow as a leader, not due to the position, but having the right leadership skills, then we can be able to coach you to discuss how then do we implement and be an effective leader. Now, when you talk about juniors being given powers to undermine you, then it is a structural problem. It might be a structural problem, but also the other thing I would also mention would be, how do you influence? Because influence is a skill you can be able to learn. Influence is earned, not it's not just because of your position. Of course, when you're misusing your position, you can say by the letter, by the pen, I'm leading by the pen. This is what I've said because I'm the leader. But when you are able to create influence, engage your juniors, your team members in a positive way. Remember, we said engagement, a combination of the things that are happening and the how you experience it, the energy you experience with. So here I can see a bit of some negative energy. It might not be disengagement. The negative energy here you're defining is undermining, and we can be able to coach you through that. So I'll be looking forward. If you're interested, yeah, drop me an email. We can be able to talk more. Eugene, you're saying also you're looking forward. Thank you for that. I will want to know if you're interested. Drop in the comments. I'll be able to do that. Finally, Jim Rohn taught me, do not evaluate something based on how much it is costing, but evaluate based on how much it is worth. Don't say this program is too expensive. That is the cost. How much is it actually costing you if you don't join the program? That is how much it is worth. You guys have big goals for your leadership. I want to ask you, let the size of your goal be equal to the size of the investment that you put in yourself. How much do you invest in yourself? Because you grow into your goals. Yeah. This is your opportunity Join this 6 weeks lead foundation program. You can make the first installment of 9,999. We should be starting next week, and you can be able to join this. You will never be 100% ready when an opportunity strikes, right? And so if you say, "Oh, I wish I knew yesterday or something," you will never be have been ready. So what do you do? Just do it. Go ahead and do it. Your greatest fear carries your greatest growth. If you're there, you're feeling the fear, you feel like, "Oh, should I do it or not?" This is your opportunity, because your greatest fear will carry your greatest growth. You feel the fear because you're about to do something that is outside your comfort zone. And that is what the body translates as fear. And by the way, if you feel the fear, that's a good thing. It's an indicator that you're about to get out of your comfort zone. Think about, how do you do it? Do it anyway. In your comfort zone, you feel safe, no risk, roll reward. But now I have pushed you to the fear zone where you are a little bit low on self confidence. You're not sure, should I do this or not? You'll start looking for excuses. How will this affect me? Yeah, I want you to really push forward to your learning zone so that you can face challenges, learn how to solve problems, acquire new skills, and extend your learning, your comfort zone. And that is the only way you can be able to get to growth zone. So if you're here in your fear zone, the question is, will you pull back to your comfort zone, or will you push yourself to the growth zone? I think that is it. Your opportunity to join. If so, if you're interested, let me know. Give me a call, drop me an email, and we'll get. I hope I did a good job. We started with this. Have I coached you well through this? By the way, give me feedback. Yeah. Did I do a good job coaching you? Did I do a good job telling you the truth, the hard truth? If so, drop that in the chat. And the question is, would you want this to be the end of this coaching relationship, or would you want it to be the beginning? If you join the program, it becomes the beginning of this coaching relationship. If not, I think it will be still good. We can connect on LinkedIn, on Facebook, wherever you are following us from. And I'll be very happy. So otherwise, that has been it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. Hopefully, you get your time to join the program, and I will see you in the lead program, the leadership operating system. That's okay. Any last one? Any question? I think that is it. I'm very happy to see you joining the program. And until next time, I'm out. Feel free to get in touch with me.